When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast that reminds you to air dry your jock straps because your hole may be stretched out, but your elastic shouldn't be.
Oh no,
that's just a good housekeeping tip, you know.
Buy quality jock straps so that shit doesn't happen.
No, you can't throw it in the dryer. That it's delicate. It's delicate material that you need to air dry.
Well, I'm not delicate. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Goetz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today,
we're going to talk about pups.
We're going to talk about pups.
If Mike has got his howls out. I actually think that's legit okay, we're doing this because we do not necessarily understand it or have done it. So yeah, pup stuff. This is going to be real interesting.
Apparently doing it doggy style doesn't count. There's more to it.
There's definitely more to it, which actually I'm going to fill you in on shortly.
Ooh, hot. Okay. But first,
I would like to thank two Patreon supporters. One, Mike, I'm just going to let you know, you're going to have to avoid the obvious.
Okay.
Because we're smart.
Okay.
And not obvious. David A. Wood.
I have nothing to say. That name has broken me.
Thanks, David A. Wood. You've ruined Mike. Or he would want you to. Wink. And then Chase Carrico.
Are you how sure are you that that's how you say that?
68%.
Okay.
How else would you? Carico? Carico?
Coleco?
If I say every possible version, then later I could be like, how do you say this? I don't care enough. Chase
me around the room.
CC. Chase C.
Great.
Thank you. We appreciate you and your money.
As the Germans say, donkey shit.
I love it. Also, but first. News?
Yeah. Let's do the news. One.
You acted surprised.
Well, we didn't do the news the last episode.
That's true.
And I forget if we did it the episode before that. I've just been do people miss the news? Nobody said anything. So here we are.
Yeah.
But fuck it. You're going to have to hear some news. So, oh, goodness.
What?
Heather Matuzik, 32 years old, was arrested Wednesday. So this would have been almost 2 weeks ago now. On 2 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation. Mm-hmm. She is a youth leader at the Clearwater Community Church. She gained the trust of a 15-year-old girl so they could spend more time together. While at the girl's home, Matuzik allegedly spent the night and slept in the same bed as the girl and was rubbing the girl's body, and she felt limp and paralyzed. So apparently, lesbians can do creepy shit too.
Oh, she's not just a pedophile, but also a verified lesbian.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm injecting that into this story, but she's a female youth group leader that did freaky shit with a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah. But I also think it's that doesn't alone make her a pedophile. Yes. Hold on. Before Dan corrects me. Yeah, that doesn't make her a lesbian. Abusing children of any kind just makes you a pedophile. That doesn't necessarily make you a lesbian.
Although I would take issue with calling a 15-year-old a child in the same way that pedophiles are interested.
Didn't you teach us about isn't there a different word?
Pederasty.
Yeah, okay. She's pedernasty.
Yeah. Pet her nasty.
Ew, okay, never mind. That's not what, no, I didn't mean it that way. I don't like this.
So now here's the broken hymen on top of this cake, the cherry on this cake.
I hate that.
Matuzik is the owner and operator of a Chick-fil-A at Westfield Countryside Mall in Clearwater, Florida.
Sure. So both involved in the church and owns a Chick-fil-A.
And molested a girl. Yeah.
And we're the ones that are gross and disgusting. Church, stop it.
Yep. Yeah, don't eat chicken and don't eat pussy.
Don't eat underage pussy. Eat pussy your own age.
It's just one of those things that, like, this is an interesting twist on what is largely just a not surprising story.
That's
right. Like,
it's like shootings now. Like, church member abuses child, and you're like, yeah, that's true. But still, it hasn't. Church still is a functioning, running organization that everyone's like, that's fine. Or no, they're not like, that's fine, but it's just like, but God is bigger than all of us, and like, stupid.
Boo.
Boo you.
Boo.
To clarify, a pederast is someone who acts on their sexual attraction to children. A pedophile is someone who has attraction to children. And a phebophile is someone who is sexually attracted to adolescents, which would be the case here.
I remember saying that word and sort of understanding it. Yeah, phebophile.
A phebophile.
In the pussy, the little no.
Oh man, I hate us.
New ringtone.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about pups?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get out of this situation we're in right here. Let's talk about pups. So
yeah.
We are going to have a guest on.
Yeah.
In just a hot minute.
Yeah.
First, I want to tell you about this study that I have.
Okay.
There aren't studies about pup play. I think it's like people are just learning that it's a thing, like especially in the research world.
Yeah.
So all we have is this more like interviews with a small number of people. So like that's kind of all we have to go on.
Is it new? Like maybe it was going on and I just didn't notice it, or it wasn't very big yet. But like when I came out 10 years ago, I don't remember seeing pups or people in pup hoods running around the gay bars. Yeah. And now I see them on the regular.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing it's a little bit of both. I mean, like there have now been news stories about them. Like I saw this article in Vice when I was like looking up stuff about this. This study that I'm going to say says that this has never empirically been studied before. Granted, shit like trans issues, bi issues have been around for forever, and we still don't research them. So that doesn't mean that it hasn't been around. But at least it's like I think now starting to emerge into popular culture in a way, or like entering kind of the zeitgeist of the non-pupsters.
I love it when you speak German to me.
So this is called an exploratory study of a new kink activity. And again, the new kink activity. The study came out in 2017 by it's UK based, and I love their names: Liam Wignall and Mark McCormick.
Sir Liam.
Sir Liam and Mark. Those are the most British names ever. They studied 30 gay or bisexual men in the UK who were all 18 to 35 Caucasian cisgendered men. So there's no data. There's not like specific data, but there are a few like words and definitions and things that stood out that I wanted to tell you about.
Okay. Because
I just love them. I love the turn. Like I might get into pup play just so I can use fun like turn of phrases. It's really enjoyable. Okay. So they define, just so everyone knows, pup play or puppy play as a form of role play where adults adopt characteristics that mimic the behavior of young dogs. Normally framed as a kinky sexual activity, individuals tend to adopt a submissive role, imitating the posture of a dog, and wear a collar and other gear associated with owning a dog. So that's just here's what it is.
Sure.
That's not fun. I mean, that's just FYIs, everybody. The first fun definition that I learned about is called the pup headspace.
Ooh.
Which is one of the participants in the study said it was, quote, a basic mindset where you forget or ignore the human thinking part of the brain and go more instinctual. And which, like, part of this, like, that sounds nice. Like, it's like doing improv. Like when you, like, you're just like, go ahead. Why did you just wince?
It reminds me of your description of what it was like to do mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah. My God. I'm just like, I don't have anxiety. I'm just kind of free and I can
talk
just
about that.
Oh, well, I can always, I don't know. I loved mushrooms. I wish I existed in my life on shrooms. It was a beautiful, beautiful. Okay. But yeah, it sounds so nice just to be like, just do what you want and what comes naturally, and just stop things. Like someone, I didn't write this down, but someone was like, you don't have to worry about your interview coming up because right now you're a dog.
Right.
Dogs don't worry about that. You know?
Yeah.
So other ways people describe this is pupping out.
Okay.
I should have put on my pop filter before doing this. Pup brain or pup mode.
Pup mode.
Yeah, get it. I like pupping out. That's my favorite one.
Pup mode sounds like something an Animorph does.
Well, pupping out sounds like you're whoring out your pup. I'm gonna pup you out to other. Anyway, other people said that pup space was a much deeper form of headspace. You're so immersed in pup play that they discussed an alternative consciousness.
Is that a social network for pups? Pup space?
It was like 15 years ago. Like, get with it. Now it's Pupster.
Yeah, great.
When you do pup activities with BT dubs, everyone, we're like talking about some specifics. You'll get to learn even more about how it feels for one specific pup that we talked to on this episode. So don't worry, you'll learn more about it. But when people do pup play together with others, they call it pupping out together. I already used that one. So pupping out, maybe that's why I liked it, because it could include multiple people. And when bringing up the comparison to zoophilia, the attraction to animals. One participant said, it's ludicrous, it's people. If a horse puts on a hat and dresses up as a man, they can't get a job. Fair point. I just love that visualization, like a horse clippity clopping is like, and they're like, yeah, horse, you can't even press the buttons on a calculator.
Wait a minute, Mr. Ed could do math.
Oh, wow, don't be horsist, I guess. So this is leading to several participants use the term biopup to distinguish themselves from biological dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Which that reminds me of bio queens. When we talked about like drag queens, there's, men, cis men who dress in drag as women. Yeah. And then there are bio queens, people who are have vaginas.
More recently, I've heard that the term bio queen has been considered a little bit transphobic. And so the term for a cisgendered woman or a transgender woman who does drag, I've heard hyper queen. They're sort of doing a hyper stylized version of femininity.
And they're probably on coke. Great.
So much about drag just looks like how people dress in the South. Women dress in the South.
It's all just imitating like a Belle of the Ball from the South. That's true. Everyone just wants to get that apple pie.
Gross.
What was I taught? What is that a metaphor for?
Apple pie?
Yeah. Is that a butthole?
I just think about American Pie.
Yeah.
Fucks a pie.
Okay. I'll be your pie tonight.
Yeah, great.
Ew. Okay. Lastly, in the topic of consent, I somehow really liked this. Everyone was like, it's not an issue. So one person said, quote, you don't really need to have a discussion about what is okay to do and what isn't. There seems to be a mutual understanding of what is acceptable. If it crosses those boundaries, then you just bark at the pup or handler or move away. Which, okay, no victim blaming. Like, it's all like people that assault or be aggressive or rape or whatever people are disgusting and gross. But I also think at the same time, us humans can just bark at someone we don't want to approach us, and that'd be a pretty good response too. That would, I feel like, really throw someone off. So, if you're starting to get assaulted and don't want it, just bark like a dog and it'll freak their shit out.
Yeah. Or like you're at the grocery store and the line is too long in front of you. I bet if you start barking, a lot of people will like go somewhere else and let you through.
Then again, the one person that might be walking towards you is the store manager to like walk you out. So it just depends on how good you are at the scanning. If you could kind of get yourself checked out before you're escorted out, before you're forced to leave. So those are just. This was a really interesting study that I like read the whole thing and just about the conversations. It's so interesting. But I actually think a lot of what they explored are similar to what we explored when talking to our guest who's going to be on, who is Pup Kero.
Kero Foster Gray.
Yeah.
He said that was something we could call him.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Because people have like pup names and people have their own names and we go into that with him. But Pup Kero.
I mean, there's the name that's on your driver's license, and there's the name that you want to go by, and pups have pup names, and his name is Kero. But he's also deaf, so if anything about the next part after we come back from the break sounds a little odd, it's because we have an interpreter who is speaking, and so there's often pauses, and
it's just different than our rest of our episodes. And yeah, so the voice you hear
equally awkward as normal.
But as with any guest, we were uncomfortable and drank, so that helped. So the voice you're hearing is the voice of the interpreter who is signing to Pup Kero.
Yeah. Did we say enough about that?
And it was, I don't know, it was a lot of fun. We already recorded it, so I really liked the conversation. I learned a lot. I had some pup epiphanies. See, I might be.
You also got hit on hard.
That's true. I wasn't mad. We had met before though, and had got hit on hard there. So maybe, I wonder in the pup community, maybe I'm just like a golden pup.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm a pup now. Rough. I'm a dog. Rough.
Oh God. So should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. A potty break?
Pup break? Poop break? Pee break?
I'm going to throw this ball and see what happens.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
So are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We are back. We are talking about pups, and we are here with Kyle. Thank you for being here.
You are welcome. I am so glad to be here.
Awesome.
So I don't know where to start even.
Yeah. Why don't you just start by telling us about how you got into the pup community?
Well, I would say probably 7 years ago, I met some pups. I mean, I was like looking at these people. I'm like, what is going on? I mean, I didn't join them right away. I was kind of just observing from the edges, and I just got so fascinated and drawn in with it. I got to know them a little bit more, and we did some petting sessions, and they sat down, and I'm like, why are you sitting here? And they're like, pet me, and I'm like, okay, yes, I'll pet you. And then we kind of got into it, and I just fell head over heels, and I kind of became a pup. It was really awkward in the beginning, just learning your way through it, and then was thinking about it some more, and I came up with a pup name for myself, Kero, Kero, and I just dove head first, and I decided later on to buy my own hood, and that fit my personality.
Okay.
And I loved it. I just loved it, and I just have been playing and playing and playing, pup, play, meeting so many people everywhere, just doing things, and maybe petting sessions or chasing after balls. And bringing those back, fetch sessions. I mean, I enjoy that too.
Okay, there's a lot of things in there that we're going to ask you about. So let's start back. What you said that stands out to me that I feel right now is when you first saw pups, you were like, wait, this is kind of weird, or what is this?
Right, right.
Before that, were you into anything that you would describe as kinky or BDSM, or was this the start of
Nothing. I was just a really boring person, and I saw these folks, and I'm like, pup stuff, and I'm like, that's kind of fascinating.
So what did you do sexually before this? Was it, did you have any other experiences that kind of led you to this?
Well, I mean, before being a pup, vanilla with a little bit of chocolate. I mean, a little bit of group sex. I mean, mostly one-on-ones, but, whatever came my way, just really enjoyed life. And then once I learned more about pup stuff and my world just huge change. I mean, lots of different play, lots of different things. My horizons really got expanded. I just really fell into it.
Other than, first seeing pups, what got you to decide to first start exploring it yourself?
Well, I mean, I wanted to find me, the real me. I wanted to find out what my inner identity was. Because I am a dog lover. I've always been a dog lover. I've always had pets and like a million dogs growing up. Just a real dog person. So
is that important for pups to actual dogs? Does that connect?
Are there pups that don't like real dogs? That's interesting.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's funny to me. That's really funny to me. I don't know why. I just never considered it until right now.
Well, I mean, it's true, though. It's true. I mean, for some people who have allergies, maybe they love the idea of a dog and love being a dog, but can't be around them. I mean, I hate cats. but I see people
That's
who
because
dress
cats
up
are
like
evil.
Cats are objectively horrible, so
Well, technically, I'm allergic to cats also.
Oh.
So, you know.
can you tell us about your first pup experience? Like, what was it like dipping your toe into the water of pup play?
Oh, yes. I remember my very first. It was so awkward. It was so awkward. Everyone was like, come on, play. We got a ball. And I'm like, I'm just drinking. And then I went to go play with those folks. And we played ball. We scratched each other. Like we did like kind of like roll around, like horseplay, doggy style, just kind of like, on top of each other. I mean, it was just fun.
I have never done or experienced anything pup related other than being at Cece's at the fetish night. So you're describing a lot of different kinds of activities.
Okay. The second Saturday at Cuff, it's called the Mosh. And that's where pups get together all the time. Like, they just kind of get together, hang out, socialize. It's like 2 to 4 or something, second Saturday every month. And so we get together and do that. Just lots of, we play ball, we chat, we drink. Or, there's a little quiet corner. There's a quiet room. You can just sit and, like, cuddle and snuggle and scratch each other and, do that kind of thing. And then there's, like a play area. You can have, like, ropes and wrestle around with each other. Pretend biting. Or... you just like grab someone and just kind of wrestle around and just, roll around like dogs do.
So there seems like, aside from the sexual component, there's an element of this that you're getting to pretend to be something you're not. Like, it feels like it's
like
different.
a dog. Yeah.
And it feels like, is that part sexual to you, or is that giving you something else?
I mean, it's both. Sometimes, not sexual at all. Sometimes it is kind of a sexual flavor. It just really depends on the people I'm with and the comfort level.
So you might, with a group of people, do these kind of pup role-playing things, but not actually, like, have penetrative sex with them.
Correct. Yeah, correct. No, I mean, you cannot fuck in the cup,
Oh, right.
the bar. Like, I mean, you
Technically.
right, technically, you cannot.
Dan raised his hand.
Is it just like hooking up with someone where you, like, after pup play, kind of like find someone to take you home, or are the hookup and rules different in the pup world?
You can. I mean, anything can happen after the mosh is over. Like, you see somebody you like, maybe go home with them, or, go to the bathhouse and just get it on, or maybe, go around back to the alley, make sure no one's back there, boom, real quick. I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
And there are different pup roles. Can you tell me a little bit about the roles and what your role is?
Well, my pup hood is blue, which means blowjobs. But the rest of the colors, honestly, I'm not sure. I think yellow, is pee. Yes, okay, thank you, Dan, saying yes. Red, I want to say it's blood.
Fisting?
For hankies, it's fisting, I think.
Oh, okay. Maybe
I don't know if the colors are the same between pup hoods and hankies.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just in my head, I was trying to think of like what red would be, or maybe it was blood. I don't know. So
okay, so there are hoods that mean different things that you're into, and aren't there also like pups and handlers? Can you tell us a little bit about that dynamic?
Oh yeah. Handlers. Yes. Okay, so I only know a little bit about this part, but I am a pup. Like, you could be a handler, and you could tell me like what to do. Sit. And I would like sit. Or you could say, woof, and I would woof. Lay down, and I would lay down. Or you could tell me to follow you. And then, I would just like follow you around like on a leash. I don't have a handler. I mean, I prefer to be an independent pup.
Oh, okay. So my perception is that there's... Oh, wait. You just motioned to your leashes. What's the leash mean?
That I'm just a pup.
Okay.
Self-identified, independent. Some handlers make a leash and give that to you, and then that would mean like I would be yours if you gave me that leash and that collar. That I would like have to bow down to you. I would be your pet.
And so that's what I was thinking. Is there was always like a pup and a handler that go together.
But that's not necessarily the case.
Oh no, it can be pup alone. I mean, I'm an independent solo.
Independent,
and I prefer
pup.
I prefer it that way. Well, okay. I mean, technically, there's always like, there's a person where I'm like, maybe you can be my handler. Maybe we'll talk about it. There's one person I'm thinking of, and we just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. We haven't set anything up yet.
And so does that mean the only time you hook up with people is like with pup play, or do you also do back to your what you called vanilla, your vanilla sex if someone doesn't do any pup play?
Whatever, it's a big mix.
Oh, okay.
It's a big mix, yeah. If I had a handler and I wanted to fuck someone, I would have to ask the handler's permission first. So it kind of depends on who it is and what the dynamic is. And that's why I'm like, nah, I'd rather be independent. Mm-hmm. Because, 24/7 horny, that's me, right? So, right? Dan knows.
It really stood out to me as well when you said that you saw this for the first time and just kind of knew that you were interested in it. We did an episode.
Yeah, true.
We did an episode on BDSM, but we've talked about other kinks on the show before. And I keep asking, none of them speak to me. Should I just keep looking? And it sounds like, based on your experience anyway, yeah, keep looking. Someday you might find the thing.
You could, it could be. I guess, what is your favorite thing to do? Like, what is something that you just, like, love? For me, it's like, the pup scene and, possibly handler. I don't know. But maybe group play or something, or maybe something else.
I think you already know what you're into, but you're just like, I don't know what, embarrassed to admit it. Like, you like voyeurism. You already said
Okay.
you like those things.
That's true.
But it feels like you don't want to, I don't know, you don't want to admit that you like that? Or you don't want to, I don't know what it is that...
I do think there's a certain amount of, like, whatever I'm into is I have normalized it, so I'm always looking for like what's the thing that I'm going to surprise myself with, and maybe that's not out there. I don't know.
So you enjoy watching? I think you just think that's hot. I think that's hot. Does it make you more excited? Your dick gets harder. You're like, woo! I just rub that fucking thing when you just explode all over the place when you watch people. Is that you?
Sort of. Yes. I'm also
Okay.
I'm also chicken shit. I don't really pursue it that much. I'm afraid to ask people to let me watch them, and I have a lot of hang-ups because I grew up in Eastern Washington.
I guess I'm curious. Are you like a shy person? Are you very bashful?
Sexually, for sure. I wouldn't say that socially. No, not at all. I'm pretty outgoing.
Yeah, I do think you have a hard time asking for what you want, or like that's for some reason for me when I'm on the apps, I feel great about just being like, okay, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to throw me on the bed. I want to but for some reason it feels like you can't tell people directly what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like me. I'm just just app. Here's all the stuff. Here's everything that I want.
Yeah, it feels like an easy. I think it's uncomfortable to do it in person. So over the apps, it's way easier to be like, here's exactly what I like, and figure out if they like that too.
Yeah, not really. Though.
Oh, really? Why not? What's yours?
I'm not shy at all in any sense. I'm just like, I'm naked all the time.
Okay. I guess I need that like layer of apps to like make myself feel comfortable doing it. Or
have some more wine. Take some more wine.
Or the wine. That helps too.
For sure.
So I think you just need to, I don't know, accept what you like and ask people for it.
Yeah. And keep not taking my Lexapro because apparently it makes my libido better.
Great. Problem solved. Yeah, so going back to that moment where you first figured out that it was something you were into, like, what did that, was that an exciting moment? Like you felt like you connected it with it already? Did you need to get into it a little bit before you really knew it was your community?
I was interested at first, but I did do some research, a little bit of research beforehand. I kind of looked some things up. Handlers, pups, being independent, extra handlers. Sometimes there's 2 handlers, 1 pup, and like there's all these different configurations. And I was reading about this stuff, and I was asking people, I was like, can I just be me without a handler? They're like, yes, of course you can. Of course you can. And I'm like, okay, so that sounds good to me. And I kind of went down that path. And I just really just got into it, just really sucked into it.
2 handlers, 1 pup. Sounds like a great YouTube video.
There are. Yes, there are. You have no idea. You have no idea.
I have never seen any kind of like pup porn, so this might have to be part of my research. Dan's mouth is... Do you have suggestions?
Should we just...
Or like,
This is not part of the podcast that you need to like hook up with anyone. But
like, are there sites specifically that cater to the pup community for porn?
There's just so many out there. Yeah, they're just all over.
puphub.com.
CPAH, SEA-PAH. That's for me, like for member. It's a pup membership thing.
Oh, interesting.
Seattle Pups and Handlers is what it's. SEA
That's the
PAH.
organization
That's it
name?
exactly. PAH.
Yep.
Got it.
CPAH.
Yeah, and in Seattle, of course. Seattle-PAH Pups and Handlers.
So is
Yes.
that like the community to meet other people, or is that like a porn site?
meeting people?
Oh,
Meeting people.
okay.
Porn is a separate site.
Oh, okay.
Unless you really, you guys have your own personal agreements. Maybe you could work out some porn afterwards. But it's separate.
Got it.
But maybe you guys probably know. Oh, what is the name of it? Hump?
Oh,
You guys know Hump?
Yeah, the film festival.
Yes. The film festival. Yes, I was in as a pup. I was in Hump. One of my friends, Danny, asked me. He's like, "Please, please, please, please," and I'm like, "You fucking bet I'll be in your video." And it was called "You Get a Tail." "You Get a Tail" was the video, and I was in the show. I was in there. We filmed. It was fucking and no blowjobs, just fucking. And I was like, "Oh, so hot." It
Did
was
you
good.
then watch it at the film festival later?
Yes.
And what was that like?
I was so proud. I was like, yeah. I was like screaming, like, yeah, it's me. And everybody's looking at me. And I'm like, hi, it's me. That was me up there. But afterwards, after the filming, a few people came up after the showing. They're like, was that you? And I'm like, yeah, that was me up there. And I was, just signing. I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, wow. And they were trying to communicate with me or trying to say something. And I'm like, look, just talk. I can try to read your lips or whatever. And they were like, oh, can I have your autograph? I'm like, you bet. And boom, there we go. Signed their program. And it was like, I think 2 autographs I gave that
Okay,
night.
so I didn't know we were talking to a pup celebrity. We would have rolled out the fancy alcohol if we knew that. But
There is no red carpet over there.
no, sorry.
I mean, this is just red wine. This
That's
is
not
wine.
the classiest. We're not the classiest on this podcast.
So you mentioned that you have your hood that you picked out. How long did you shop for that? Where did you shop for that? How did you make your decision?
I ordered it from Mr. S.
Okay,
Mr. S. Online. Ordered that.
that's a leather company, right? Like harnesses. And
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
Right.
I think I paid. Oh gosh, maybe 200 plus 2-day shipping. Little extra.
Need it now.
Oh, absolutely. I needed it right now. Yeah. And if there was no extra, I mean, it would have been like a week's wait. And like, no. I clicked this thing. I need it now. 2 days.
What other like pup gear do you have?
I mean, just the hood so far. I have like a pup shirt. But I really want to buy. I'm not even sure what you even call it. It's like a little strap that goes on your chest. It's like a little like a harness, sort of. Yeah, like that, like a harness. I really want one of those. But I mean, they're like $250 for a good one, and I'm gonna have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what are the other common pup gear that other people have?
A collar with like a little clasp for a leash, not the kind like I'm wearing here, but like with a leash attachment, elbow pads, gloves, knee pads. And a tail. It's like a belt with a tail attached to it, or there's one that you can put up your ass.
I've seen those.
You've seen those wag.
Yep. Dan looks very excited about the.
Oh yes.
Have you used them?
Daddy has some.
That you've used? Mm-hmm. Oh, good for you. Help us understand. I guess I can kind of see the fun of it because I'm more into like sub kind of things, but what is the fun? What is the sexual enjoyment that you get out of doing this? Why is it need to be pup? Why isn't it other BDSM things that you do? Help people that might not understand it understand why you're into it.
BDSM, I don't really know a lot about.
So do you consider yourself part of like the BDSM culture or not? No.
I think that's separate.
Oh, interesting. I always thought of it as part of it because it has some of the like those same dynamics?
I mean, I think there are some pups do cross over, but I think, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think some do and some don't, and I'm one that doesn't. I don't.
So
really
pup play is the only kind of.
That's
kink
it. That's
okay.
it. That's it. Everybody's got their own circles, and I don't think that they all necessarily intersect. I have met a few trans pups, and they're so cool. So cool. So that's all good.
So then, help explain what draws you to that. What do you get out of it?
I like to meet a lot of new people. And as a pup, you meet people all the time. Like, you exchange Facebook, phone number. I mean, you fuck a lot of people. And sometimes some of them, they come up to you, and it's like, and they try to talk to me, and I'm like, hello, yes, I'm right here. Do you want to say something? And they're just like, okay, hang on. And then they bust out their phone and like text me something, and I read it. And they're like, I want to learn ASL. And I'm like, okay, roll my eyes first. Tie it back. And like, it's like, man, you got to sign up for like a visually speaking.info. Because I teach classes there. I'm like, hey, sign up. You want to learn? Sign up. And they're like, okay. Is it hard? And I'm like, I don't know. Go and sign up and go find out for yourself.
That's so interesting that the first thing you mention that you like is meeting people, because I would have expected it to be more about, like, the first thing you didn't say was it's fun to have sex, or like you talked about the people in it. That's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, sex too, but meeting people. I mean, I work at Trader Joe's, and I mean, I meet tons of people every day, and I love meeting people. I love it. I'm not shy to meet anybody. I'll go up to anybody, like, hey, my name's Kero, and people will like just like recoil in horror. Are you deaf? Duh. Yes, I am deaf.
So is there a subculture within the pup community that is deaf pups?
I wanted to ask about intersectionality.
So far, I am the only deaf one that I know. So far, and proud of it. Very proud.
Do you want this to be a call out to any other deaf Seattle pups?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. If anyone out there is a deaf pup that is in the Seattle area
And listens to our podcast.
and listens to our
we don't make it
podcast-
very accessible.
shit.
Like,
Well, you could do a YouTube. Thing.
we could do it too, and we need to get transcripts once we can
Yes, transcripts.
afford it. Maybe this one, we definitely should do it for this one. Sorry, this is not, now I'm just thinking like for this one
Oh,
specifically.
this is really fine.
I found a possibly cheaper option, so we
okay.
can talk more about it.
You mentioned something that I think was really interesting, that when you started experimenting with pup, you said you like found, you wanted to find yourself. What do you feel like you've learned about yourself by being in the pup community?
Well, before being a pup, I just didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I really wanted to do with my life or anything. And I just, went to college, did some hairstyling. No clients were coming in and nothing was working out. I mean, I think because I was deaf, that's probably a big part of it. Before I got married, saw the pup stuff, and I was just curious, and I just had this feeling, just like this instant, immediate feeling of like, yeah, that looks fun. I think that I maybe want to get into that. Is that me over there? So I kind of just followed that feeling and decided, I'm going to give this pup thing a try. And it gave me so much stuff to do. I really got into it. And I started going to all these events, all these pup specific events as well, and seeing all these handler and pup events, and went to a canine pup event. And I loved like all these events, just started getting into it and doing the stuff and meeting people. And I really felt like I found myself. I really felt like that was really me.
And we didn't ask about this yet. You're currently married.
Yes.
And
yes.
so tell me about that dynamic with your marriage, and what do you do? What does your husband? I didn't ask that. Is that right?
Yes.
okay.
Husband. Yes.
And what, like, does he go with you?
I mean, my husband is a professional interpreter.
Oh,
yes.
that's cute.
Yes. And when we met, he knew barely any sign language before he met me. And then, a little bit. He was kind of just roughly signing. It was really cute. Really cute. And then we started dating. And I admit, I was talking a lot. I was talking and signing. And he was like struggling to keep up. And we were kind of going through it. And then I think after maybe 4 months or so, I got stuck. A friend asked me to move out. So I was like, okay, well, that means I would have to find another place to live, or I would have to fly back home to Minnesota. And my husband, his name is Chris. He's like, no, you can't leave. Like, live with me if you don't have a place. And I was like, oh.
After how long of dating?
3 months.
Wow.
Oh, you're basically lesbians then.
Fuck you.
Says Mike, who moved in with his now ex-husband after
2 months. Yeah.
Mike's right there with you.
That's even worse. You're a worse lesbian.
Exactly.
So, moved in with him and with his cousin. It was a little bit awkward with 3 people in a small apartment, and we're like, and I'm like, me and Chris decided to move out on our own. And we got a place, got a new apartment, and so I'm like, hey, you know I can kind of talk, right? Okay, but I'm going to turn my tongue and my throat off, and I'm going to bust out my hands, and you're going to have to learn some sign language. And he, like, trial by fire, and he was like, oh my God, stop. And he had to go to school. He had to go to school and study to become an interpreter. And he got through it and graduated, and now he's a professional interpreter. He's been one for, I think, 5 years.
Wow. So did you get into Pup while the two of you were together?
Yes. We were dating, and I was in the process of learning about pup stuff. Yes, that is correct.
And is he involved in the pup community at all?
No.
And
he is just Chris. He is just Chris.
So does that mean do you call it an open relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, we mutually agreed before we started dating. And I'm like, hey, look, I want to try an open relationship. He's like, okay. And we just rolled with it. Because, one-on-one is like, get kind of boring after a while. I'm like 24/7. I am horny. And I don't know about him. Looks, open. You okay with open? He's like, yes, of course. But of course we communication, talk about things all the time. Hey, I'm going to go fuck this guy over here. Okay, cool. Have fun. And, and play safe, or, come home safe at least. Yes, but we communicate. So important.
So then that's so interesting to me that he's not at all in the pup community, but that's such a big part of your life. Is there anything that you need to do special to make that work other than communication? Or is it just whatever you do in your sex life, he's just like, that's cool?
We just talk first before anything ever happens, before sex with anyone happens. And I'll be like, hey, you cool if I fuck someone? And he's like, yeah, cool, have fun, just go and do it. And sometimes, he will ask me, and he'll say, yeah, there's this guy who kind of wants to, kind of give my number and just suck him off real quick. And I'll be like, that guy? He'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, yeah, go do it. I don't care,
So the pup doesn't factor into that at all. That doesn't seem like it's an element.
No.
It's more about the open relationship.
He totally doesn't care if I'm a pup. He notices that I'm happier, and so being happy makes him happy. As far as the sex stuff, we like I said, communication. Sometimes it's threesomes, sometimes it's foursomes, and I've done a 6-way one time.
So then does he ever do the pup play with you, or when you're having sex with him, is it no pup stuff?
Is he anti when it comes to his sex?
No pup stuff. It's just normal, married sex, I guess. Married sex, sure, yeah.
This is blowing my mind. I just didn't imagine there being a relationship with one person in the pup community and one person not. So, that's just so interesting to me.
Some pups ask him, hey, can you be my handler, or can we get some kind of a thing going on? And he'll be like, I don't know. We talk, maybe later we'll discuss it or something, but no. And I'm like, if he wants to go for it, if he wants to be someone's handler or something, I don't care. I know that there's one handler who I kind of want to nudge, but I mentioned this earlier, I haven't done anything yet, but it could happen. I don't know, maybe.
How do you imagine that working if you have a husband and separately have a handler? That seems like a really complicated dynamic.
We would figure it out.
Okay.
We would figure it out.
I'm just processing all of this. Dan is treating me like I'm ridiculous.
You're talking about 3 whole people you're talking about?
Yes.
That's not complicated.
2 people are complicated,
No.
much less.
No, 7, 8, 9 people is complicated. 3 is easy.
That's true. That is very true, Dan. I have experienced, like group sex, like threesomes, foursomes, and then the 6-way, and an 8-way one time. And so, like, different dynamics. But so fucking hot, though, all of it.
I'm still like really trying to understand the pup play that you're doing before. Is that all foreplay as part of it? Is that sometimes just fun to do separate than the sexual experience?
I mean, it's both. I mean, it can be foreplay. You can suck somebody off while you're doing it, roll around and touch someone, or you end up fucking while you're doing it sometimes. It just depends on our preferences, the mood, or, you guys up for it, or no, we're just going to do a little foreplay and then that's it. I mean, who knows?
So sometimes you might do like some, I don't know what to call it, pup stuff, and then it doesn't lead anywhere, and then you're like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
That happens.
That happens.
Okay.
And then sometimes you just fucking go by. That's it.
How long did it take you to feel, it seems like there's so many customs and norms that you have to learn about. How long was it after you started that you felt comfortable, like you kind of knew what you were doing?
About 3 months or so.
So then how do you learn? You said you did like research. Is that the main way you learn, or do you learn by interacting with handlers?
I think just meeting new people in person, people who are pups, I mean, I think is a great way. And if there's a handler too, I mean, go up to them and talk to them too. I mean, and for me anyway, I mean, I don't think there's any, I don't think there's a lot of educational websites in terms of that. But I think in person, touching a person, seeing a person and seeing what it's all about, that's what I like anyway.
Gotcha. And what advice would you give to someone who's interested in it but doesn't know kind of what to do next or how to get involved? Dan, are you volunteering yourself?
Sorry. As Kero knows, I have dipped my toe in pup.
Oh, so if you're Dan.
Yeah. I am a pup in my bedroom with Daddy, but very, I've never been to a mosh. I've never...
Is your name Scout?
Have y'all interacted in the pup world before?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually really surprised to hear that Kero's one of the few deaf pups, because when I've hung out with him, everyone that surrounds him is signing. I thought I was the...
They learned.
Micro, and so many people are signing. So many of the pups sign, it seems like. But maybe it's just...
No, it's just me. It's just me. Just me. I am the one.
Interesting. I knew we had you reach out, but I didn't know that y'all were in circles together.
Ish. Yeah. I mean, Kero's one of the first pups that's he came and he sat with me and with Daddy, and he's like, "What's your pup name?" And he's one of the first people that made me feel included in a pup community.
Yes, I am proud of it. I'm proud of it.
Do you find yourself falling into that role often of welcoming people
Ambassador.
into the community?
Oh yeah. Anybody who wants to become a pup or wants to try it, I'm like, come on in, get over here, come here. No. Here, have some booze, have a couple drinks. Now keep coming over here. And just relax. Be yourself. Don't get too stressed. Don't get all in your head about it. Just let go and just enjoy. And that's how I got Dan, and I can see him drinking, and then he kind of loosened up a little bit.
Okay, our listeners have an interesting fascination with learning more about Dan, so the more you can spill about Dan, the better.
We should share all the information, Dan. The first time we met, where was it? It was Diesel, right? Yeah, Diesel. And he was with his daddy, and his daddy knew some sign. And so we were kind of just chatting a little bit, and he was watching the conversation back and forth. He's like, I need to learn ASL, damn it. So slowly picks him up. I think you're coming along.
Have y'all fucked?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you say yet?
But he wants to.
How do you say yet?
Not yet. This is how you'd sign it. Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
That's the appropriate sign for the situation, yes.
Dan, you'll have to tell me later how much of this I can include and how much of this I have to cut out, because...
Include it all.
All of it. Okay. Dan, tell me, you said that he was the first person to make you feel included in the pup community. What's it like for you then, when you first I don't know, met a pup, started like.
He's definitely not the first pup I've met,
Oh,
but
okay.
the sort of public out in bars, out in a public space pup community. Like it's intimidating on some level. Like for me, because I'm surprisingly, maybe to listeners, I'm very shy. I don't easily talk to people out in public.
Oh, I knew.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
that.
Yeah, Kero knows that. Yeah, I'm not easy. Yeah, I'm shy, and then once you start talking to me, I become an open book. That's how I describe myself. And I know pups more privately, but Kero was the first to like come over and like start talking to me and like, hey, meet this pup and this pup and this pup and come over here. We're going to hang out and like and Kero put his mask on or his hood on his pup hood on me, and then like Mox had me put his pup hood on me, like to try out figure out which size would fit me best, and like that was a big deal for me. It was an even bigger deal for Daddy because that like he smiled ear to ear. He
was into that.
He wants me to have a pup hood.
Oh yeah,
bad.
He took a picture of him with it. Yeah.
Is the pup community small enough that like everyone knows each other?
My pup community here, I mean, I know everybody, but I mean, out there in the world, I mean, no. I mean, I know some people out there for sure.
So in Seattle, though, you know most of them.
Oh yeah, in Seattle, sure.
Interesting.
And there's cats, there's pups. Some people dress up like horses, squirrels, maybe. I think I see a squirrel. I mean, it just depends on your preference.
What?
Yeah.
And is it? I've only heard about the pups. When you do like horse play, is it the same idea?
Pony.
Is it all?
Oh yes, yeah, right.
Okay.
Pony, yes, pony.
Pony. Okay.
But is it just the same as the pup? No, I mean every animal has their different thing.
So you're doing the thing of the animal, but it's the same idea of one person is acting like the animal, whatever they would do.
Yeah, basically, you copy the animal. Yeah.
Okay.
Recently, I saw a horse, or I guess a pony, came up, and I'm like, whoa! Like they had like these giant like shoes, and they were clomping around in, and they had this giant like thing they were wearing, like this kind of harness, and these little like hooves on their hands, and this big like thing on their head that had like the long elongated face of a horse and some ears, and I'm like, whoa! So I decided to grab my best friend, who knows a lot about signing also. And I'm like, hey, would you mind interpreting for me real quick? And so we went up to this pony, and I'm like, hey, pony, just, I'm deaf, and can I just ask you a question? And of course, I mean, I couldn't read lips because, I mean, wearing the horse mask. And so I'm looking at my friend, and he's like, yeah, of course. So I'm just like, your outfit, your accoutrement, like all these things you're wearing, how do you feel with all this stuff on? He's like, I'm sweaty as fuck in here. And I'm like, yes. Okay, thumbs up. That's all I wanted to know. Okay.
That's so interesting that you are into pup play, which some people don't understand, but other people can be doing something like wearing a pony outfit, and you don't understand that. Like, so you can kind of understand how people on the outside might feel.
Yeah.
Would you, I know you said you had dogs growing up. Would you ever explore with a different animal that's not a pup?
Nope.
Wow. Like
Definitive.
Pups is it forever until I'm dead and buried. That's
okay.
it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we all agree cats are the worst. So as long I'd be open to anything that's not a cat, but
So, leading up to this episode, I told a lot of people that we were going to have you on, and more than once somebody said, "Oh, so he's a furry," and I said, "For sure not. That's not what this is." But I had a hard time.
There are furries though. But you're correct. It's totally different from a pup thing.
I'm just
Venn diagram, right?
Can you speak to that? Like, where are those boundaries, or how do you tell the differences?
Well, I don't know much about furries, honestly. I cannot speak on that very much, what they do, what their jam is. But furries, they wear a lot of fur, is like what I observe, and they just have fur like all over their face, and like the hoods and the costumes. It looks like they're really hot, and they're sweating and like stumbling around. And after a while, you got to take it off, and then it smells. Okay, like it really smells. The sweat is intense.
One of the differences that I've picked up from the people that I spend time with, who I spend time with many people who are both furries and pups. Most pup hoods, you can see their eyes. Mm-hmm. Most furry heads, you cannot. Mm-hmm. And so
that's a good point.
There's
yes.
a dissociative nature to a furry costume that doesn't exist with a pup, like a pup hood. So pup hood, you can stay sort of engaged with the eyes. So if that's important to you.
Oh gosh, no. I think it could happen where you could still have a really strong connection with a furry. I think.
Yeah.
And gosh, I mean that's an interesting point though. I mean I've met a few where like we really connected, and it could be like really extra exciting sex sometimes. So.
I did want to ask a little bit about the experience, and it's probably a hard question because these are really abstract concepts, but when you're in your hood and you're playing, does it feel different than real life? Like, I don't even want to say, I don't even know if it's appropriate to call it real life, but like when you're not a pup, when you're at your job or whatever, does it feel different? Does existence feel different? Like,
no, no. I mean, it's like 50-50 kind of. I try to flip back and forth between them. But it feels like me, like in my job, I'm like focused. I'm doing my work. I'm just doing things. And then pup stuff is like, like, yeah, I'll get to that later once work is all done. And then once you're finished and you get home, shower, get dressed, put on the hood, and then like you do your own pup stuff. I mean, I feel like it's real. There's no conflict if that's kind of what you're asking. There's no mixed up feelings.
It seems like you would get to, if you wanted to, kind of be a different character, but like be a little bit different person than you always are.
But it sounds like he's saying not.
Well, I mean,
for him...
for my job, I'm still Kero. So they still call me the same as my pup name. But it's funny because we have new managers who didn't realize that my real name comes on my paycheck. And so they're going through my paycheck and they're going through the checks and they're like, I don't see you got a check in here. I don't see your check, Kero. And I'm like, no, come here. And so I would like pick my check out of the stack. I'm like, this is me. And they're like, oh, Foster. I didn't know that was your real name. I've only called you Kero. Yeah, I mean, I am Kero. And I'll bark at people at work and like, yeah, okay, got it. That clears it up for people pretty quick.
We didn't ask about the like pup name. What is the importance of the pup name?
Well, I think it's just a comfort level. You're just more comfortable with your pup name because that's who you are. That's who I am. So, I mean, Kero is who I feel most comfortable as. I mean, for like the last 7 years. So I think that's really the relevance of it. I really enjoy that. But, when it comes to legal stuff, if police show up or lawyers or anything like that, I have to like switch back to being Foster. And I feel like, Foster. Yes, my name's Foster.
I was thinking that people typically like only use their pup name when they were doing their pup things.
No. Wide open all the time, yeah.
Wow. So it's like I don't know, it feels like once you get into the community, you kind of become, and now I'm starting to understand what you mean by finding yourself, because it seems like you were able to...
Kero is who I am, yes, all the time.
And that's something that you found through the pup community.
Yes, exactly. Kero is me.
What do you think would have happened? I think it could have been easy for you to not have seen this pup community and not have gotten involved in it. Do you think you would have found it eventually, or do you think there would have been something out there that you were still looking for?
I probably would have never found myself, I don't think. I mean, if I had never met those pups that day, or if I had never bumped into them, and I would just be plain old Foster. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
This is something that I didn't expect about this, of like how much it permeates kind of the rest of your life outside of being in your hood or doing pup stuff. How do you feel like it's affected the other aspects of your life, being at your job, being with your friends?
Well, maybe I'm not going to use her name, but I have a friend. I have a friend of mine, and we work together at Trader Joe's. And she always does this sign. I'm doing the sign for woof. And she's like, woof, 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 woof. And I asked her, like, hey, so what are you doing? Like a dog thing? What's going on? And she's like, well, I don't know. Should I be a dog? And I'm like, well, I mean, come along and come in my community. You're always welcome. Maybe try it someday. And so she does this woof thing all the time. Woof, woof, woof. And so I think maybe there's a seed there. Maybe like what's in me is I'm spreading the word. She's still new. I think she wants to maybe get into it. So me being the ambassador, me being the nudger, But, she's got a crazy work schedule. And my work schedule, I don't know if we could ever play together at the same time. So,
So my perception is it's almost exclusively gay men. Is that not true?
oh, no, it's both. It's both.
Would you play with people that are not gay men?
We would play rope play or rolling around. Not sex, no, but like pup play, sure.
Oh, so the pup play doesn't necessarily have to be with other gay men, but then like when it comes to the sex, that would only be with other gay men?
Correct. Yes, correct.
I'm still trying to figure out how this all comes together of like the pup play stuff. If that's with people that are not gay men, then it's not all about just the foreplay. If they're not the ones you're sexually into.
I mean, you're just playing with a ball. You're just doing whatever. You're just playing.
I guess what I'm realizing is there's just way more than the actual sex while wearing a pup mask that's involved, and that's what I need to kind of expand my definition of what the pup community is like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm learning. Are most people then gay men?
Yes, most of them are. Mostly gay men. I think there are some lesbians. There are some trans people. There are a couple straights in there.
So I wanted to ask, a little bit ago, you were talking about Kero is who you are. It's permeated your whole life. Can I ask about your family? Are you close with your family? Are they accepting of this identity?
My family accepts me as gay, sure. Not at first. My mom did not accept that. My parents are divorced.
Okay.
Backing it up a little bit, and I was in the closet in high school, super in the closet. Graduated, met some friends. Like I must have been 18 or so. Came out to friends at that time. Didn't come out to my mom till like mid-20s or something. I think and when my mom found out, like, oh my fucking god, I told my mom. I was like, I need to borrow your van because I need to move, and so she was going to use my car because we were going to switch vehicles. My mom was using my car. Like I said, we switched. She went to go grocery shopping or something. She's driving, and then like this really bright light came on, and it was like from inside the car, and something fell out of like the little the sunshade, and so she looked at this and she found a note or something, and she drove back home as soon as she found what fell out of the sunshade, and it was my note to an old ex, and I said, "Hello, Peter." And I want to say I love you, and I really enjoyed our life together, and the sex was great. And she read the note because of this light that went off in the car, and I was like, fuck.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she knew it was my handwriting. She knew it. So that's how she found out. So she came back home. Mom saw me come back, and she's like, hey, can I talk to you? I'm like, yeah, sure. And she whips out the note. And I saw that note in the back of my mind. I was like, fuck! And I opened the note, and I'm like, yes, Mom. And she just kind of sighed. Shook her head no. She's like, please go back to being straight. And I was like, Mom, I can't. That's who I am. That's me. And she's like, fine, but don't tell the rest of the family. And so for a while, I didn't say anything, just for a few months. And then I thought, forget it. I told my brother, I told my dad, I just told everybody, just put it out there. My dad, he's like, yeah, come over to my house for dinner. And I saw this message, and I'm like, oh, man, okay, I'll be there. So I drove to my dad's house, got there. Like, hey, Dad. He's like, oh, hi, Foster, come on in, sit down over here, come on. And his friend got up and left immediately. And I was like, oh, man. So I sat down with my dad. He's like, what's up, Foster? I'm like, you asked me to come over. He's like, yeah, I know. I know you were gay ever since you were little. You were playing with Barbie dolls. I'm like, what? Fuck, you knew? He's like, yeah. I'm like, Dad, I'm gay. He's like, that's okay. I love you. And I'm like, oh, I started crying. And I was like, oh, my God, thank you, Dad. He's like, Mom did not accept me it must have been 2 years. And then she finally started accepting me. My dad accepted me right away. So I'm thinking about, I always thought that moms would accept and dads wouldn't. And it was totally the opposite. I was like, what the fuck? It's crazy.
Do you talk to them at all about the pup part of this?
Oh, no. My parents don't know that I'm in an open marriage even. So shush about that.
Oh, so they know you're married.
They don't know that it's open. They
Okay.
don't know that it's open.
Got it. And you, by the way you're acting, it sounds like they don't need to know, or you don't necessarily want to talk about that part.
I mean, actually, my mom kind of knows that I'm a pup, but does she know that I play with people? I don't think she knows that part. And I would prefer to keep it that way. My sister, Rocky, she knows. She knows like everything. And we are super tight, super close. And I mean, my sister is just like, I'm like, oh, I played with this other new pup and we fucked everything. She's like, oh, cool, Foster, yeah, tell me about it. It's great. Okay, great, have fun. And so she's really cool. And I mean, my husband knows everything. So yeah,
That must be nice to have your sister know and be.
Oh my God, yes, yes. I mean, we are just so close. Yes.
Would you like someday to talk to your parents about it? Is that something that eventually you want them to know, or you just want them not to know about that part of your life?
Honestly, I love my parents, but they are old-fashioned, and I don't know how they would feel even about the open marriage stuff, open relationship stuff. I would prefer to probably keep all that stuff to myself, I think, unless they were like asking me, or like if they had a direct question about it, like if they were like, Foster, are you in an open relationship? I would answer them honestly. But if we're not going to talk about it, then I'm going to let it lie.
Is there any last words? Anything else that we didn't ask that we should know about?
I mean, I think putting pup aside for a second, and definitely putting cats aside. I mean, I think just like the open relationship stuff, I think honestly, I just want to really reiterate, communicating with your partner, boyfriend, husband, whoever it is, it's so important.
How long have you been together?
Almost 11 years?
Wow. And married?
Almost 5 years married, but together for 11.
Wow. That's really impressive, especially in the gay world.
Oh yeah. Yes, true biz, absolutely. Yes, I mean, I've tried to date a few deaf people, and it did not work out at all.
Why?
Oh my god. I mean, I'm happy to share. Hey, I'm gonna really stick to the deaf community right now, I guess. But deaf people tend to gossip like really bad levels of gossip, and there's like zero confidentiality, zero privacy. Like one time, my previous ex, who was deaf, we dated. We've fucked, had sex, and everything. All as you do. And like 2 days later, I was at a deaf event. Just a deaf event. We were just socializing. And someone's like, hey, Foster. And I'm like, hi. I'm like, hey, I heard what happened to your partner. And I'm like, what? 2 days ago? What are you talking about? What? Oh, yeah, you totally fucked my best friend. And this is this person who I'm not going to name right now. And I'm like, oh, my God, how did you know that we fucked 2 days ago? Where'd you get that information? I mean, like, nothing is confidential. Nothing is secret. And so I went to my partner at the time, and I'm like, why did you tell the person we fucked? And he's like, yeah, it's not private. We're just open. I'm like, no, don't talk about her sex life. That's between you and me. And he's like, oh, whatever. It's totally fine. And I'm like, oh, you think that's fucking fine? Really? You think that's fine? So I asked that person, and I'm like, hey, so person that knows about this, did you tell other people? And they're like, oh, yeah. I told my other best friend. I told my other friend over here. I told this other friend, that friend, whole friend. And so, like, literally everybody in the fucking world knew about it. And I'm like, done. I'm done with this. Wow. I do not want this anymore. You cannot trust a deaf person in a relationship. No.
Wow. I had no idea.
If you ever have a relationship with a deaf guy, you will get whiplash. You will be like, people will know like the next day. Every single thing, you will have no privacy. I'm warning you right now. Trust me.
What if I like that?
I mean, okay. No problem with that if you like it.
Should we take a break?
Yeah. Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
So are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We are going to do our gayest and straightest.
We're going to do our gayest and straightest. But first, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
Our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram is at Gayish Podcast or /Gayish Podcast.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, is 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
And our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
So, Kero, if people out there want to get in touch with you, or do you have anything that you want people to know?
I mean, if you can find me on Facebook, contact me on Facebook if you'd like.
Okay. And you mentioned moshes, right?
Oh, yeah, the mosh. Yeah, definitely. It's I'm thinking the second Friday. It's like a social night event. And then the next day is the actual official mosh. But yeah, come up to these events. Come out.
You said it's at the Cuff Complex on Capitol Hill in Seattle.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Cool. So if you're in the Seattle area, go check that out. We are going to do our gayest and straightest.
Let's do our gayest and straightest. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, great. So the straightest thing about me this week, on my way to work this morning, I was merging onto the 520, and there was another SUV. I think it was an Escalade. It was a big-ass car. And he came up beside me and matched my speed and was giving me this are we going to fight for who gets to merge first thing? I just felt really butch in my Jeep. I was like, yeah. And I punched it and tried to beat him off the line. And, it was fun.
Did you win?
Yeah, I did, actually.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Did you say you beat him off?
Yeah. Oh, God. All right. And the gayest thing about me this week, I didn't tell you about this, but 3 or 4 nights ago, I had a dream that I had to call you because I was so upset that Cardi B had died. And I woke up in this cold sweat. I was like, oh my God, is she okay? I did that thing where maybe it's real.
Yep. Not everyone would be upset by that, depending on who you are.
Yeah, just having dreams about a pop person dying is that's pretty fucking gay.
That's adorable. My straightest thing, this is a little bit old, but it's so straight that I wanted to use it. When my dad was visiting me, we went down to Tacoma, and we did a bunch of stuff while we were there. But one of the things we did was when we were at the hotel room, he turned on ESPN, and we watched track and field.
Awesome.
Why? I don't know. I mean, he grew up doing track and field, but it's just, I don't know. It seemed really weird.
Do you have a favorite track and field event?
The pole vault. the more pole, the better.
Yeah, you would.
The gayest thing. Shit. I had one, then I forgot.
Wah, wah. What is this, episode 123, 124? Get your shit together, Kyle. You know how this works. You came over on Sunday. We had dinner, and then a bunch of us went up on the roof. And I came back downstairs to get another beer and go to the bathroom. And you were laying on the couch singing, I think it was Britney.
Oh.
Was I?
Yeah, you were singing something.
Oh. I don't remember that. Okay, but that does remind me, especially this weekend, the Taylor Swift song came out. Mm-hmm. That's the gay pride one that gays love to hate, and the last 2 Taylor Swift songs I've had to play for you many times in a row. So there we go. That's my gayest thing.
I'm supposed to say quiet. but Taylor Swift, a cis, straight, white woman, is writing a song about gay pride. Fuck her!
Woo!
Wow.
I'm tired of straight people culturally appropriating gay pride. This year is offensive.
She went to
oh my God.
She went to the Stonewall Inn to perform there.
Oh, congratulations! You walked down the street.
And to her credit, I made fun of her as well, especially on Twitter. She also raised money and signatures for the Equality Act, but it all feels like there's something about it. Even though she's doing good things, it's it doesn't feel.
Is the Equality Act the name of her new album?
Well, that's the thing about I recorded a new song that now you have to go buy, and it's about. I don't know. It's just in time for gay pride. It doesn't. There's something about it that feels weird and feels off.
Yeah, I have a friend who used to work with us at Trader Joe's, and they wanted something new. They wanted to go to a new place. They wanted to change in their life. They wanted to move away. Went to Utah. Trader Joe transfer down to Utah. Went all the way down there. Got there. Started working, and the boss was like, "Gosh, I need you to stop acting so gay."
What?
And yeah, they just were dead in their tracks. They were like, "I'm sorry, this is who I am." And they're like, "No, your little crop top. Nope, you need a full shirt. You need to, no shorts. Make sure that you get pants. And they were like, no. And they were like, we can't have you being so gay here. We're sorry. We can't have it. And they were like, if you can't change, I'm going to have to let you go. But, fuck Utah. Fuck straight people. Fuck it all. Like, no, I was like, man, you got to tell me they can't change you. And they were like, yeah, I don't want to lose my job though. And I'm like, oh, just to be put in that situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it was me there, I would have just exploded at that fucking manager. I would be like, you think you're fucking firing me? Yeah, you fucking fire me. I will sue your ass. You try. You cannot expect to change a person. You can't make me straight acting. You can't. It does not work. You can't do it.
That's why we need the Equality Act, which will help protect everyone from these kind of situations. Thanks for the help,
exactly
Taylor
so.
Swift. You're getting us there.
Yes, exactly.
So,
exactly.
Kero, do you have a gayest or straightest?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
I do. There was a straight wedding. That was great. A friend of mine, ex, who was dating this other person, they were kind of dating. Great. Invited me. Sure. I'll go hang out at a wedding. Yeah, why not? Just sitting there chatting. And I was nobody knew sign there, so I was trying to read people's lips all the time. I was the only person. Nobody knew any signing and stuff, so it was just, just lip reading. Trying to focus on one person at a time. It was really tough. And then one person asked me, hey, you want to dance? And I'm like, sure. So we went out and danced, and there was a person like off over there, and they were looking, and they were like, he did this sign, like the limp wrist sign, and he was like, oh, you're a faggot, aren't you? And I saw that out of the corner of my eye as I was dancing, and I tapped the person, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, this guy over here, he's calling me a faggot. And we like looked over, and he's like, you're fags. And the person I was with got so angry. And I was like, no, just forget it. No, just hold on. It's a best friend's wedding. I don't want to cause a scene. So we just kept dancing and stuff. And that person kept on. You over there, you're a fag. And I eventually lost my cool. So I decided to just go over there. And I was like, look, I was trying to talk actually. And I was like, look, if you can't accept this, get the fuck out. Wow. And the wedding couple heard me because I think I screamed, and they came up and like, are you okay? What happened, Foster? Are you all right? And I'm like, he kept calling me a fag like over and over and over, like as I'm dancing with this person. And so they told him to get out actually.
Oh, nice.
So getting the support from these people was awesome. That was a great moment.
That's so sweet.
I mean, if you can't accept gay people, just like,
that sucks that happened to you, but that's good. You have friends that were on your side.
Yeah. I was ready to beat his ass. Honestly, I was, but it was not worth it.
Yeah, being at a straight wedding, I don't know. For some reason, just always reminds me that I'm not straight. Like it's just I don't know. Yeah. What about gay? You shared with us before recording and during break some gay moments. What's your gayest thing?
So many gay moments. I was just scrolling through my phone. I was looking at Scruff. And then I went to Sent File. And then I was, just going, every day. I check them out every day. And trying to meet folks. And, sometimes, I'm just like, most of the time I say no. I got 2 jobs too, got to focus on work, right? But I am available on Fridays and Saturdays, and so putting myself out there, I think was pretty gay.
Trying to balance your time between work and Scruff. That's gay.
That's pretty gay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's very gay.
Awesome.
So that's it. A special thank you to Kero for being on the show today. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for being on.
Oh, I am so glad to be here with all of you, and thank you to our interpreter.
Yeah, that was next on my list. You're taking my material. Thank you to Brad Galloway and HSDC Interpreting Services for making this even possible. That's really awesome.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's it. This has been Gayish. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. See you next week.
See you next week.
And you're a total fucking whore, Kyle. So
That's the one.
You didn't tell me you're a whore. We could be whores together.